Hey everyone, welcome to Vanguard Tactics. I'm Stephen Box, and today I'm joined with Joe.
Hello.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, thank you. Good. It's warm in here.
It's quite warm, yeah. We're still waiting for the air conditioning to be installed, so that'll be coming into the studio soon. So anyway, I hope you guys are keeping well. Obviously, this is day 61. I had the weekend off from going live, which was quite nice actually. A bit of a break. Just not to think, oh, I've got to go live today. So it was quite nice just to have a little bit of a break. Hope you guys didn't mind too much me having a break for a couple of days at the weekend. I managed to go on a nice bike ride. Actually, Saturday I had a really bad migraine because I was intending to go live, but I thought, do you know what? I think getting a migraine's a bit of a signal that I probably should
Stop looking at computers.
Stop looking at computers. And then Sunday went on a really nice bike ride, so that was kind of what I did over the weekend. But if you are here and you are interested in Warhammer 40k, then you're in the right place. Joe, you've just gone out of shot, mate. Come on, don't dive out of shot. People want to see the beard, you know.
I know.
What was I saying? Yeah, if you're interested in Warhammer 40k, then you're in the right place. And we have the 9th edition announcement.
It was very exciting.
We've had that. That was Saturday. So 9th edition has been officially announced now, which is fantastic. And we're going to talk about our thoughts on that today. And we're going to obviously pretty much be covering that a lot this week. So if you have any questions whatsoever, then please pop them in the chat. If you're new to the channel, then I welcome you. Thank you so much for subscribing. You're here in the home of Vanguard Tactics. And it's our mission to help you become a better competitive 40k player. Now that doesn't mean trying to win at all costs, does it, Joe?
No.
It just means that we want to help you get to that next level in your game. So if you're currently, let's say, a club player and you want to do a tournament this year, then hopefully following our channel, following our work will help you take that next step. If you're maybe, a semi-regular tournament player and you want to get to that next level, you want to start getting a winning record, then again, employing the tactics that we talk about will help you win more games in the right way. And if you're already doing very, very well, but you want to get consistent results, then again, it's going to help you also, as we're all about getting consistency. And maybe it's some of the stuff that we talk about, mindset, and those other aspects which are really going to help you become your very best.
Yep,
so
100%.
Anyway, 9th edition. What were your initial thoughts, Joe, on 9th edition?
Originally, it was like, oh my god.
Okay.
My mind has been blown.
Yep.
And then I was up, but they haven't released all the other new stuff yet.
Okay.
And then it was like, and then I went back round to being very, very excited for some of the stuff they've kind of shown us. And it's a good time, I think.
Yeah.
I think going through the pandemic, as it were,
come
out of lockdown into a whole new game system. I think it's going to be very, very good for everyone.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was really pleased with that. They're just doing what sounds like minor tweaks. Rather than a big uphaul. And obviously it's going to affect the Academy slightly. And in the Academy group tomorrow, I'm going to go live and talk about how it's going to affect the Academy. But to be honest, as somebody here that has built a year course talking about 40k, and with 8th edition at the time, in terms of, and I don't tell you the rules, I tell you how to interpret them and also really how to make the most of them. So it's not like this is rule number 1, and it's not like that. It's a case of, right, like the module I'm working on at the moment, how do we prepare for a tournament? And actually, I've looked over all of the content, and to be honest, there isn't that much. I'm not there thinking, oh, I need to redo an entire year's worth of content, because a lot of it is still very viable, because it's a lot about game theory and, again, helping you really make the most out of your models and making sure that you're applying the best strategy. But I really feel like with the 9th edition, so obviously you guys, we're not going to sort of, you've probably already seen it. You've probably already seen the preview. If you're following us, you're probably following GW. So I'm not going to go over everything and bore you. But they came out with 9 things, right? That are going to 9th edition is changing in 9 ways. One of those that I can remember is essentially the tanks can now fire into combat.
Yes.
So I personally feel like, and we actually have the same viewpoint on this, don't we?
Yeah.
So I feel that is going to work very much like the stratagem Imperial Fists have that allow that unit to shoot into combat, where they treat them as pistol weapons.
Yeah.
So I think tanks will have that, or vehicles will be able to basically shoot as if A bit like, I think they've tried it with the Invictus Warsuit.
Yeah.
Because the Invictus Warsuit can shoot his heavy
bolter.
Bolter into combat, can't he?
Oh yeah. So I think like for a lot of units, like the general tactic of like rapping and trapping, it's not really going to change that much because the mass units that you're going to be doing it with, they normally can take the hits or they can take the losses and still be in contact with that tank and not get shot by other tanks.
Yeah.
So like plague bearers or like orcs, gene stealers, they don't care if someone fires 4 lance cannons into them because you take 4 models off of the back somewhere and the rest are still in combat.
And it's still very tactical if you can do that because what's going to happen is that you as a attacking player can dictate what that tank then shoots at, and that's really, really strong. Because now, the other thing is, well, I think it might even work, select one gun that you can fire into combat. It might not be all of your guns, because otherwise a Bane Blade shooting into combat would be potentially horrific.
Well, the Bane Blade can already shoot into combat with some of its weapons.
With some, So it might be some, not all, or it could be one, not all. I don't know. Either way.
If you're an Imperial Fist player, because there can be more tanks on the table. So, so you're obviously a little bit stronger again.
Yeah. So not too bad on that. Yeah. Then the other thing was that there's this whole blast.
Yeah.
And now, what are your initial thoughts?
So I think it's going to kind of be like, you know, the old rules for Demolisher. So it was like D3 shots, but if it shot a unit with like over 10 models, it became D6. Yeah. So it would be similar to that. Instead of being D6 over 10 models, it would be just flat 6.
That's exactly what I think. So I don't think that it's going to be blast templates. I don't think blast templates. And I must admit, I do hope blast templates basically don't come back. So if it's like a battle cannon which can shoot twice, it would be basically a flat 12 shots.
Yeah, that's terrifying, really, if you think about it. Like the relic one with the flat damage free.
But that's the thing is, they already have a stratagem to do that anyway.
Yeah.
When you're shooting certain units, which I think is vehicles only. Yeah. But anyway, if that's always the case, then your hordes that I think you're either going to go for units of 9 or you're going to be going for units of 30 in that instance. So that's going to be quite an interesting one.
There was command points.
Command points. So basically, which I really like the sound of it, and as you guys know, some people will potentially criticize me for this, but I do like pure faction armies more so than super.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I love pure faction, and I think the amount of command points you get now is based on the size of the game. I think that's what they said.
Well, I think
or the points.
I think something I can't quite remember exactly what they said. I can't remember them saying that bit, but I do remember them saying like, well, you're going to get basically a pure faction bonus, and then if you want to unlock a soup or another codex, it might cost you 3 CPs or something. Yeah, I think that's quite cool because then actually, my mono build Blood Angels, my mono build Harlequins have just got a little bit stronger. Yeah. So that really adds, because I think Space Marines have already got a lot of mono buffs, and I think what it really does then allow us.
And we've kind of already seen that implemented with like the assassins. Yeah. Like if you want to put an assassin, it costs you 2 CP to kind of put it in.
Yeah. So I think that would work quite well if it was like that. It means like custody players that want to go pure custodes, they get a good old. Yeah. Maybe it's like an extra. It could be like 3 for Battle Forged or 5 extra for if you're pure or something. Yeah. Because those armies that are like have expensive troop choices, maybe. Anyway, so let's should we dive in the chat quick?
Yeah.
Maybe answer any questions here. Let me see if I can put this on the lap and see if I can still. Oh yes, I can still scroll up. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, evening, brothers. First, gatekeep harder and keep soy out of the hobby.
Soup.
Okay, right. Yeah, it could be that, or maybe soy. Maybe you want to just go pure meat, perhaps. Yeah.
Well, I suppose like gatekeeping, like those armies like knights, like pure knights, although they're really really strong, a bit of a gatekeeper army. Yeah. Still really easy to outpoint them. Because they can't hold all the objectives. Yeah. Thomas
has said, watching this with my girlfriend, she doesn't know what Warhammer is. Well, what would you I would say to anyone that isn't familiar with Warhammer, Warhammer is a very strategic game where it's like chess and poker. If you combine those two together, where you've got the strategic element of moving pieces like in chess, but with the probability aspect of okay, well, if they might have this hand of cards, then they might have a stronger play or whatever. And it's,
Or you could say it's like big D&D, and we sit there going, pew, 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 and then we dress as like giant dragons and lizards.
I mean, if there's any way to turn anyone off from 40k, that's what you say.
Yeah.
So
but
anyway.
You're not out like partying.
Yeah. Okay.
Whilst you're playing, you do that afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I should never be allowed to describe Warhammer to anyone.
No, just not. Yeah. Just Joe, come on. Sit the next couple of plays out. Yeah. Joe's a little bit like Brick. Yeah.
Brick.
Of Anchorman.
Yeah.
So maybe we just call him Brick from now on. If you guys agree, then Joe's new name will be Brick. Okay.
Yeah.
Necromancer 1000. Vanguard Tactics, thoughts on the new edition and the new Necron models that were shown off. Well, thoughts on that. Mine were, I don't actually like Necrons, but I do like the new Necron models, and I'm we will be getting a Vanguard Tactics channel.
Yeah, that's very like Simon Cowell of you. I don't like it. I love it. Kind of like.
No, but you could have not got me to play Necrons before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have played it.
I wanted to do Necrons, and now I want to do more Necrons.
Okay.
So, and we're going to get all the starter boxes. We're just going to hoard them in.
Yeah.
And just make. I want all the bikes, to be honest.
Okay.
So, yeah,
the Space Marine bikes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about those shortly. So, also the AdMech releases of Engine War was released today. We're going to cover that on Wednesday. So I'm going to cover Engine War on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Because tomorrow we're going to move the Q&A to 7 p.m.
Yeah, I think that's when they finish.
So this live is going to be at 7 tomorrow because GW are stealing my prime time. They're going from 5 until 7 tomorrow about 9th edition questions. So I want to listen to their questions, make notes, and give you my thoughts at 7 o'clock. So the show continues over on at 7. A bit like, what's it, More 4?
More 4, yeah.
Bit like that. But over on here at 7, we like the after hours, after party show.
Yeah.
GW, I can't believe they stole the prime time. I think what they've thought is, that's Steve Box from Vanguard Tactics. He's doing a good job at 6 o'clock. Everyone on YouTube, is watching 6, so we're going to steal that time from him. I think that's what they've done. I'm on to you, GW.
Or we're like the after show for Love Island.
Well, exactly. That's what we will be like. Brick and Steve.
Yeah.
Brick and Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam said the trailer was phenomenal. We're so glad to see Necrons getting some love. Nice. What are your thoughts on running a Hellbrute and a Death Guard list? I mean, it completely depends on the list, really.
Yeah. If you're running 9 of them, more power to you.
Yeah, as well. We don't know the new rules yet. If they can shoot into combat, then maybe it could be a way forward. Rizal said, had a person hassling me. Okay, I mean, never get anyone hassle you. Because I was talking about your Blood Angel list archetype being strong. They said it can't stand up to hordes and you need aggressors. Wow. You have any thoughts? Well, if the army wasn't strong, and it's maybe not the army, I'll be honest, it is the player, as all these things are, because anyone can run Blood Angels, anyone can run my Blood Angel list, but if I wasn't, what was I saying? What would be the right word to say? If I wasn't able to yield that army correctly, then I wouldn't have won so many tournaments.
I ran that army against orcs, and I went up against 120 orc boys in a 2,000-point game, and I killed about 170 of them because of Green Tide. Yeah. So it has no issue. And like turn 2. The bolters on the Sanguinary Guard, absolutely just kill hordes, no issue.
Pretty good, yeah. So, I mean, if the person's like, you're always going to get, and they're rife at the moment, trolls everywhere. And it's because they don't, as we described earlier, now, he might have that perception in his head about his current local meta, the people he plays against, or the way that he's personally running Blood Angels. Yeah. He might not know the ways in which I play my Blood Angels. I play them quite unorthodox. Yeah. So you're like, I would say, standard Blood Angel player. So unless they have that skill level to yield the army, then of course it's going to feel really bad.
And it's all about model placement as well.
Yeah.
Like the banner that gives you the feel no pain 5-up.
Keeping in within 6 of everyone. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Keeping everyone together. If you misplace that banner, or you misplace your warlord to sanguinary guard, I'm getting reroll, stuff like that. It's going to seriously do.
Or if your units aren't in the right place to heroically intervene at the right time when you get charged, or if you don't put enough models on the table and you get alpha striked and you can't counter attack, it's all those different things that really make the game tick. Or make that army tick. So, in light of all those things, he probably has his perception. So, the best thing I would do is say, look, please, before you make any regards, help me understand your point of view. So, what mission pack are they playing? How much terrain do they play with? What armies do they currently play against? What skill level are the opponents that they're playing against? Are they playing against friends? Are they playing at a tournament? Are they playing at a club? Because all these different things are going to make such a difference. So, rather than just having a blazing row about it, find that mutual ground. Okay, well, I can kind of see your point there, because you play with potentially loads and loads and loads of terrain where hordes are really dominant, and maybe you play an Eternal War where only troop choices score the points. So you're never going to be able to kill enough orcs because they're going to just sit on all the objectives. Troops only score. So of course they're going to win that over. Let's say you might be playing ITC on a more balanced board. So actually it's about kill more, hold more. So if you guys are coming from a different mission pack, it's completely different. So anyway, that's that. Stephen Carpenter, thoughts on or hopes of 9th edition terrain as a close combat advocate? I don't actually mind the terrain rules as they are.
No, they just need to be clearer. I think GW is quite ambiguous with their stuff, and they literally can't write in the rule book, use your common sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to offend anyone. But it's one of those, like, if you look at it and you agree with your opponent at the beginning, how that in terrain works, then you're fine.
What I don't want to happen is there have been terrain rules in the past that may be like you get rerolls to hit or whatever, or there's like crazy little rules for like, oh well, that looks to me like some sort of pipage, and there's like pipage rules, right? You're like, what does that pipe do? And it might be like this random thing, but maybe you play the pipe rules, but I don't.
Well, there was like, if you've got a flamer next to a pipe, that flamer allows you to re-roll the amount of shots. The pipe, or like you're next to a box that looks like it's got ammo in, then everyone gets to re-roll the wounds, or they get more shots. Like, it's a bit mad and gnarly.
It would be like another army you need to learn how to play. But maybe it makes it more strategic, so who knows? But then if that then increases the game time to finish a game of 2,000 points, maybe it's not actually relevant for competitive play. Maybe a streamlined version of terrain is actually okay. So who knows? The jury is out. But I mean, our terrain range is still pushing forward, because I think our terrain looks fantastic, and also I think it's going to function really, really well in 9th edition. So and maybe we'll get the odd mutterings of things anyway. So I'm pretty content with the terrain that we're putting out. It's going to be really functional and fantastic to play in the next edition of 9th edition. So JW, do you expect the new bikes and other assault units to make White Scars more prevalent and pull them up to their Wolf-in Vampire colleagues? Potentially.
You're not so sure, but I'm like, yes.
So the bikes, we'll quickly touch on those now. From looking at them, if they're a Primaris and if they take the same theme of the Primaris units, they'll get an additional attack. And they'll get an extra wound. Okay, so they go up to 3 wounds.
And bikes usually give you +1 toughness.
So they'll get that anyway. I mean, compared to a normal bike.
Yeah. So you'll be
T5,
3 wounds, 3 attacks.
Yeah. So that's okay. This is where they're going to be massively let down. If number 1, they still have a rapid fire weapon. Because if they have a rapid fire weapon, then you can't advance in shoot.
If they've got the assault bolters, then they're okay.
The Inceptors, the
ones that the intercessors have. If they've got
Inceptors, they're called.
Because what's the rapid fire ones that intercessors carry?
Oh, those ones.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So the assault bolters.
Yeah. So assault bolters, which give you 3 shots, strength 4, no negative.
Yeah.
Which are 24-inch range, or they might have the ones that the Inceptors have. Yeah. Which are 18-inch range, strength 5 -1.
And they're the ones I really hope they do have, because they look like a heavy bolter. If they've got a heavy bolter, then they're going to be no good.
Well, unless they're White Scars, because White Scars get to move and shoot heavy weapons with no negatives.
If that's the case, then yeah. Or if they get their own little version of, but they need that ability in. The problem is as well, going by the recent trend of Games Workshop with the eliminators and suppressors, they've only come out in units of 3. If they only come out in a unit of 3, then you're not going to be able to pull off things like wraps and traps. You're not going to get enough volume of attacks to do anything, and therefore any stratagems that you want to play on them to get a 3++ or anything like that is a little bit like, well, you're not going to spend 2 CPs to transhuman a unit with only 3 models in, are you? With 3 wins each.
I suppose if you left them to hide, because most bikes have got movement 18, 16. Yeah. So if you're White Scars,
I think they're 14.
14. So what you could do is just hide them behind a wall, and then you could use them to grab recon, grab late game objectives, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. You think about their points; they're probably on par with an aggressor.
Yeah. So
you're looking at 110 points for the unit of 3.
But if you said to someone, take an aggressor,
but
it can now move 14 inches. But then aggressor's got power fists, so
yeah, they got power fists, and also they will get the benefit of cover, whereas bikes don't.
Yeah.
Depending on how the old terrain works, they can run through ruins. Bikes can't.
Yeah.
They put out horrendous amounts of shots. Yeah. So if they're the assault bolter variant, you said the strength force 0 -1 damage, which is the same as the profile on a aggressor, but the aggressor can stand still and pump out 100 shots for a unit. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
One of the
they look incredible though.
The
models look amazing.
One of the 9th edition things that they said was that there's going to be more reserve options.
Yeah.
So you could have them like sneak around the back.
Yeah.
If all else fails, you can use them for
characters.
White Scars can't.
Yeah, basically. Absolutely. The models look incredible.
Oh yeah.
And I'll definitely be getting some just to hobby with. And I would love to do I'd love to put them in a Deathwatch army, like a pure full scale. I think that'd be cool.
That would be interesting if Deathwatch get them to go in their Primaris squads.
That would be cool. If that then gives them fallback in charge.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That'd be really, really cool. What have we got here? John said, greetings from Sweden. This game has gotten me so much better in the last 8 years. Almost as good as my true love, War Machine Mark II. Should I pick up Harlequins as my second army? Well, Harlequins are super fun. Really, really cool to play. I love my Harlequin list. I'm having so much fun playing with it. Joe's not. Endorse Jack. But the skill level is one of the highest, I would say, there is.
Yeah. You make one mistake and your army just
falls apart.
Just flies off the table.
And the painting skill level, also very high. So just expect to lose a lot of games until you get extremely proficient with it. But John, if you look, I love the Harlequins. You'd be a man off my own heart if you go for them. So yeah. Costello said, Stephen, what's your opinion on the new Chaplin character? So the new Chaplin character that got released is what's his name?
Judicator
looks incredible, but I don't know. It looks like he's got a Necron head.
Yeah, I'm not keen on his head. He's a weird mix between like one of the Age of Sigmar dudes.
Could be anything.
Yeah, the what are they called? The Sigmarite dudes.
Okay. Yeah.
The gold one. He looks like one of those with a Necron head.
Yeah.
Also,
he would make a sweet Emperor's Champion, though.
I reckon he might be like the version of an Emperor's Champion, because you don't get the Primaris one.
Yeah.
So he'd be cool.
I would put an Emperor's Champion head on him. Yeah. I love the model. I think it's quality.
Or like one of those, the Ultramarines, like Forge World helmets, which is like a closed off like flat visor.
Yeah.
Would be quite nice on him.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the knight look, you know. Luke said, if the CP changes wide open, like all armies get same CPs and no battalions required, so you wouldn't need troops if you didn't want? Is that good or bad in your mind, or would it balance it out? Well, I think that you'll probably still get detachments. I just think you'll start a little bit more if you're pure. Is what I think.
Yeah, I think troops will still be important because they've still got OBSEC.
Yeah.
Because I played against Jack's Tau the other day. He's got no troops. Like, even though he absolutely pasted me, there were times when I could run forward and grab objectives off him with my Campbellite warriors, just because he might have had 30 drones on it. But I'd be like, well, there's one Campbellite warrior there. I now hold that objective.
Yeah.
So I think if depending on what armies it is, troops are still going to be important.
Yeah, I think so. I think that you'll still get more CPs for having troops in your army. JW said, also assuming that assault intercessors will be troops. Well, do not assume that, because if you look at their shoulder pad artwork, it's got the fast attack symbol. So I think assault intercessors are going to be a fast attack option, and I really hope in the multi-part kit you can equip them with a jump pack. Now remember that it was like back in the day, I think assault marines could take a rhino for free.
Yeah, a rhino for free, and then it became a drop pod for free, or a jump pack.
So if they follow that same trend, cool. If they don't, then I think they're going to really struggle to get anywhere on the board.
But if they do have jump packs, then they're going straight in the White Scars army.
Yeah, but the thing is, I still really rate incursors. Obviously, it's a troop choice. The ability to get 9 inches away already, exploding sixes is pretty much as good as plus one attack.
If these guys do have jump packs, though, it could be better.
Oh, I think they will be. Yeah, so, they definitely will be, providing you can still give some maybe heavy weapons like a Thunderhammer or Power Fist to maybe 1 or 2 mods in the unit.
I'm not sure if White Scars have it, but I'm pretty sure Raven Guard have it, like the Hammer of Wrath thing. So when you charge, you can do more wounds when you charge them with a jump pack.
Don't be surprised if chainswords get a little update. I'm personally thinking they're going to get a little cheeky change, so a chainsword might not operate like a typical chainsword does at the moment. I don't think they're going to give you +1 attack anymore. I think they're going to be something different. But anyway, we'll leave that to be... or you guys to have a little think about, but anyway, that's my prediction on that. What have we got here? JW, I feel that every army should have at least 1 battalion in their list, or you would get 12 tank commanders. What are the lists from Index 8? Well, the thing is, obviously, the rule of 3 still applies. Like my Ultramarine list doesn't have any troops. It's just got aggressors, suppressors, eliminators, and Inceptor Bolter Boys. So
the thing is, though, if someone rocks up to the table with 3 tank commanders, 3 Lehman Russes, 3 Basilisk, and 3 Wyvern, you'd be cool. I'm just going to go and touch everything. With my infantry, and then they can't do anything.
Well, they shoot into combat.
They can shoot into combat, but if you're a Harlequins player, you go, okay, I'm going to put my 10 Harlequins in front of your 3 tanks with my 3 up invuln, and you're -1 to wound me.
And -2 to hit.
Like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, you could get 12. You could get 3 tank commanders. You could run also 3 units of 3 Lehman Russes. But if that's somebody an army wants to play, crack on.
And
but every army, it will be slow as hell, so it won't be able to get. Well, actually, saying that, tank commanders can move quite quick, but they wouldn't be for example, particularly great at holding objectives. If they get charged, they'll get picked up easily.
Gives up big game. And mark for death.
So it swings and roundabouts, right? Do you want to go for an extreme builds like that will do well in certain scenarios? If you go for a balanced list, then you've got more redundancy, and potentially you've got it's a little bit more forgiving. But an extreme list will have extremely hard counters as well as extremely easy matches. It's why in the WTC, in the team format, you'll see a lot of extreme builds, because the players will try and take out the games they don't want to play and focus on the games that they do, so they can score the most points for their team. Okay, so what have we got here? Wow,
it scrolled really quickly to the bottom.
It scrolled, and we missed off a million questions here. Okay, found it. Luke Boss has said, but everyone could do with it when balancing would come from hordes dominating those lists. I think hordes don't really dominate. They don't really dominate. There's some good horde builds.
There's so many answers to killing horde stuff. You could charge 30 Orc boys with 10 intercessors, and those 10 intercessors just pick that squad up.
JW said his hopes for terrain gets updated heavily. Well, the thing is, I'm going to ask you this: how many of the actual terrain rules did you even use from the rulebook? Because I know I didn't use many, because like I said, it can really slow down the game. So I really hope it's simple, quick and easy.
The only terrain rule I've ever known anyone to pick me up on
-2 to charge.
-2 to charge. They only pick me up on that when it really matters. They kind of forget about it, and they're like, oh, I'm -2 now.
Somebody said about list might not be any point in bringing battalions. Well, look, if you can, let's say you can bring a battalion and you get some additional, then you just got more CPs to play with. So I still think you'll see them. I'm still going to run battalions in my Harlequins.
There's still they might turn around. There's some tournament builds where you have to bring a minimum of 1 battalion.
Yeah.
So GW might turn around and be like, you've got to bring a minimum of 1.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's your tax.
Absolutely. Combat Wombat said, I'm all about the new Primaris Assault, even if they retain any of the standard rules going as well as Veteran Intercessor stays as a stratagem, they're going to be mean. I mean, I don't know. Are they going to be mean? I'm not really sure. They could be it depends. They need to change the chainsword to be more than just +1 attack.
Who will benefit from those? Crimson Fist with Pedro Cantor with his +1. And Dark Angels, they got that banner that gives you +1 attack.
Well, Ultramarines have the same.
Yeah.
Ultramarines, you can get crazy amount of extra attack. So, yeah. Vanguard Tactics, and then, or if you can put them in the Grey Shield detachment, that would be crazy. I was thinking of a list of about 100 Assault Intercessors.
Yeah.
If they are a troop, and then you run that with Theros to get a 5+ Inviolable save, and then the Chaplin, the Banner Boy, the Apothecary to give you a 5+ Feel No Pain. So then you've got 100 Intercessors with chainswords, heavy weapon on each of the sergeants, and then you pop Grey Shield for the turn, so that in turn 2 you can become a White Scar, so you can also then advance and charge. In turn 2 you just swamp the board. It would be a really quite boring list to play, but it would be pretty good, if that's still based off what we know already. Diamipa said... Vanguard Tactics, it said you would unlock additional codexes with command points, so soup now cost you. Don't get rewarded for staying mono. You don't get rewarded for staying mono faction. You have to pay not to be. Well, yeah, rewarded or punished, whatever you want to see it. But yeah. Thomas W said, thanks, Stephen. She had a good laugh. You're the man. Oh, thank you very much. Lee Russ, how you doing, Lee? Hope you're doing well, mate. Evening all. In for a quick 10 minutes before dinner. Hope you're doing well, Lee. Lee, you have to get here for a game, mate. We'll be like nostalgia back in the day. Lee is from my old club in Devices. Okay. So, yeah, you'll have to get Lee in for a game. Incredible painter as well. Halsey said, Joe, tactical question. Does a beard help you roll more 6s? Funnily
enough, sometimes.
It does, actually.
It's really helped with my...
you roll more 6s than me, and you've got a bigger beard.
Yeah, and it helps that I run Blackheart as well. So...
Right. There we have it, look. Yeah. So, Stephen Carpenter, actually loving how much more life and energy you have tonight, Stephen. Makes me realise you need days off. Thanks for your content, but maybe Monday to Friday is the way to go. Yeah, do you know what? I really appreciate that. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I feel like I've sort of rejuvenated this weekend. And, you know, obviously we've got loads of good content to be talking about as well. So.
Seriously, it's like, not to blow his trumpet, but Steve's built all of this. He's worked really, really hard for the last year that I've known him. Like, really, really hard. So actually taking a day off occasionally might help you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and like the last 60 days of this whole COVID thing, I've gone live every day. I've tried to have a think about. I've tried to think about what I'm going to talk about, and also I've had a lot of emails. This thing in itself, a load of people have emailed me, which is incredible. Please don't get me wrong, but then it's emails you've got to answer. I'd like to get back to people. It's comments I've got to answer as well. So it creates not just that 30-minute window, but also beyond that. Obviously, we've had a huge increase on the academy. We're up to like nearly 150 students now, and it's going to be, we're going to cap it at 200. So we've only got 50 spaces left. We're averaging about 5 new students a week at the moment. So it might not be long until we actually hit that 200 mark. And especially with 9th edition now, there's no time like joining now before 9th edition drops, because we are going to be way ahead of the curve, and you're going to be super fresh, and because you're going to be thinking critically about
so
making the most of the gameplay.
Yeah. So we'll do all the legwork, we'll do all the learning, we'll do all of that stuff. Then we'll give that knowledge to you. So when you do go to your first tournament in 9th edition, you're a bit more clued up than that guy who's picked up that book and is just hoping for the best. So that you can go in and really get your 4-1s, your 5-0s over those who.
Well, it's all about just feeling confident, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to turn up to the table, and if you're on the academy, you would have done the event prep module, so you'll know exactly what you'd have needed to consider in your list. You would know exactly through the routine that I go through every single time, so you know, okay, your bag's packed, you know exactly what's in it. You get to the table, you know what to expect. You know that the pre-conversation. So I know with 9th edition. What the questions I'm going to ask my opponent need to be. So you're going to get to the table, you'll be like, oh, I'm really confused with this mission pack. And you know that the Academy's already released the mission pack on how to play each one, in terms of like how to leverage them. And that's what I teach you, not the actual mission, because you can buy that from GW, you can buy and read it yourself. But what we do, what we go through is, okay, so when you're placing the objectives, maybe think about placing them here. Yeah. Maybe this is a mission where you want to go second, not first. I created a cheat sheet when I went to the Eternal War missions from GW, whether I wanted to go first or second. Yeah. So a lot of the thought process was already done before I got to the table, because then that's something that you can just go, cool, don't need to worry about that. So yeah, now is the perfect time to join the Academy. The link is below in the description. Jump on that. And also when we hit that 200 mark, there will be a break in a while, and then after that the prices will be going up when we take in the next intake after the 200. So yeah, absolutely. And it's also a great time where people will be swapping loads of list ideas. Oh, God, yeah. You know, we'll be talking about the meta, we'll be talking about maybe rules interactions. So there's going to be loads of good stuff going forward on that.
And like with the community, we want it to be a proper community that helps. Everyone's helping each other. They're all singing from the same like sheet, as it were. Mm-hmm. So if you go to a random Facebook group and put your list up, but you're not really sure what kind of response you're going to get. Someone might say it's terrible, whereas someone might say it's actually amazing. Yeah. Whereas if you come to our community, we're like, okay, like that's really good. You could change this, or you could change this.
Or like what tournament you're playing in. Yeah. What's the mission pack? What's your current model selection? Yeah. You know, we help you get the most out of your models and help you invest in the right purchases going forward. So that's kind of what we try and do, is steer you in the right direction. The thing is with, like you said, you could go in a Blood Angel group, and I see it all the time. What do I need in my list? Somebody will go, Leviathan.
Yeah, Whirlwinds.
Leviathan Whirlwinds. No. Really not the right way. No. I mean, you can do that, don't get me wrong, but it's like it's a copy and paste answer.
We want the community to be constructive with what we tell each other and how we inform each other. Right. Like, whereas like you don't want aggro. It's like a safe place basically to share your ideas. Yeah. And we're going to cultivate that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we've got 150 people in there at the moment that I've never seen an argument in there. I've never seen any nasty words, never seen an argument. We're all on the same team. We all play for the same team, especially with the new kit and all that kind of stuff coming out soon. But anyway, super excited about that. What have we got here? Chap Dev, not being monofaction implications makes me extremely concerned for Yannari. Well, all of 9th makes me concerned for Yannari, but still I'm in the multi... I don't think it will be classed as I think it will still be classed as monofaction.
Yeah, because... the only stipulation is that when you have to take one of the 3 characters as a HQ in that detachment. Yep. Then it becomes pure like Yannari. So it doesn't
That's
matter.
A pure Yannari detachment.
Yeah.
So you'd have to make sure all of your detachments are purely Yannari. If you went pure Yannari, but you can still take characters, and they would just. So I take sometimes Incarn or Yvrain in my lists, and you know that's fine. So what we got here?
Eldar don't have beards. Are you sure? You aren't a squat. There's beard envy.
So someone said here, can you fight melee through walls even without line of sight? Yes, you can. Yeah. Absolutely.
Currently, you can.
Currently, you can. Yeah. As long as you're within an inch and the wall's not over an inch thick, you can, my status is online. Hey, mate, after lockdown is over, have you considered some events for new players on your program? London-based here. Well, we are going to be doing probably... Well... it might even be the first ever 9th edition tournament, because we're currently planning the VTGT, And we'll also be doing masterclasses as well. So if you're new to the game and you really want to accelerate your learning, then definitely come along to what we're going to run is a one-day masterclass. I ran a masterclass last year. I did it in Leicester, then I did it in Utah in America. They were so well received. It's such a joy to do. All the coaches come down. We have a real good coaching day. So it's all about coaching. You get games in as well. I'm not just sat here lecturing you. I teach you elements. You go away, you practice it. You have an opponent, and then you practice against each other. And we play out scenarios. So it's a scenario-based play. And then after that, what will happen is then the next day we're going to run an RTT. So that will be for those people that attended the masterclass. So an RTT is a one-day, 3-round event. So, we'll find accommodation nearby, sort you out with that. We'll go out for dinner in the evening. So play all day with the coaching on the Saturday, Sunday RTT, and then maybe the weekend after that, GT.
Accommodation down the road from us, there is an Airbnb, which is in a castle.
Oh, nice.
So
cool. Sounds good.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
everyone to the castle.
Everyone to the castle.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that pretty much covers most of it. There are some questions we haven't covered, but we've been nearly going 50 minutes, and this is meant to be a 20-minute show.
Someone said bikes and Death Watch.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
A big bike.
Bikes and Death Watch. Yeah, yes. Love that. Right, guys, are we going to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. 1 hour later, after I've watched the GW question and answers.
GW ran over.
Oh, well, I'm 7, all right? Even if they run over, I'm still coming on here at 7. Yeah.
Will Joe have his amazing elder? They're always amazing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I will always run Drakari forever, till I die. Or if I lose all of my belongings and my house burns down, I have to sell them. Yeah. But apart from that, yes.
Yeah. Pac-Man 184. Hey Stephen, what is your thoughts on the Librarian Dread, and is it worth taking over Mephiston? Well, I don't take either, so you can take that as you wish. Yeah. But if I had to choice, I would take Mephiston currently based on the rules of terrain.
Good example. I have seen people use the Librarian Dreadnought, fly him on top of a building, fail wings the next turn, and then he's stuck up there.
He can't
do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, whereas Mephiston can just walk down.
Yeah, so. He loves it. Right, anyway guys, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7. See you later.
That was very good.
Hang on a second.